Okay, well, for me, the moment that I realized that our relationship was something special didn't actually happen until after we were married. Like our relationship was in a good place and I enjoyed talking to you. I felt comfortable around you, but you kind of showed your true colors during that moment of crisis for us. So we had been married 9 months. We were living in an apartment, and this is when I had my first psychotic break, from which I was diagnosed bipolar. And what I appreciated about you, Linda, is you didn't like it was a really, I guess for me, it just felt really embarrassing. I felt very vulnerable. I didn't know what all of this meant for us, but you were just there for us. You were rock solid. You actually were the one that drove us to the hospital because there was no way John was going to control me and get me to the hospital. So you came when he called in the middle of the night and you drove us to the hospital, and it just meant so much. And then after that, after I got out of the hospital, again, I just felt so broken and just stupid. And what the heck is wrong with me? And you told me a really sweet story, and I'm not going to share that because it's between us. But you told me a really sweet story that filled me with grace and just let me let go of that embarrassment. And I don't know if you'll ever know how much that moment meant to me, but I needed you to hear that.
Thank you.
All right. Question number 3. What surprises you about me?
Well, a lot of things surprise me about you, but one of the most important things is for both of us is that we still like each other.
Hmm.
And that's developed that we both love each other. But there is a difference between liking someone and loving someone.
Yeah,
And the fact that we still like each other is almost a miracle, but it's there and it's real.
yeah, for sure. Agreed. Um, for me, I don't know if it surprises me, but it just tickles me so much. Your kind of idiosyncrasies, like so. If Linda just had surgery, so I'm here with her in Lincoln, and she to carry her purse. Do you care if I tell how you usually carry your phone around with you?
Go right ahead. I'm not proud.
I mean, her bra is just a very good place to carry her phone around in her house. I think you do a little bit too when you go out, don't you? Or do you put it in your purse?
Well, it depends if I remember to take it out or not.
So it tickles me that you have those little things. And so around the house right now, Linda's not wearing a bra. She's just had surgery. Of course, you're not going to wear a bra after that. So she has a little black purse. Do you put it around her neck? And that's where she puts her purse. And I'm like, how practical is that? Like, but it's like you have these really fun, creative ways of dealing with a problem that just are extremely human and just, I don't know. They always tickle me. I always think that was a really good idea. More people should do that. So there's your compliment about your idiosyncrasies.
Thank you. Thank you.
Um, all right. What would you like to see this podcast do? So now we get a little bit into the mental health piece of it. Like for you, you've seen me struggle in my efforts to get healthy. You've watched both your grandchildren, Kat and Jack, both struggle with anxiety and depression. You clearly lost your grandson, your oldest grandson, who I'm always so glad that you were in that room with us the day that Jack was born. I had asked Linda to be part of the moment, I guess, and yeah, it was really special. So, but you lost that grandchild. So what would you like this to see this podcast do as far as all of the understandings, I guess, around mental health?
Well, I think, let's see, there are so many things, but the number one thing is that you want to raise awareness of the realities of mental health
Hmm.
and also how it impacts everyone's lives. And and trying to erase or inform people that it is not a stigma. It's something that is real, and it needs to be talked about and not hidden.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I always say if you hide it, you're giving it power, which is so true. And I think
Definitely.
that if I would, I grew up in the years when you just didn't talk about that kind of a thing. But as a kid, my anxiety was out of control, and it made for really horrific experiences, I guess is what I would say. And so I wish that I would have known how to say I need help, but I was always a little bit embarrassed about it because it wasn't very talked about. But if I would have asked for that help early on, maybe I wouldn't have ended up in the hospital in a psychotic state. So I guess my hope for this is that we open up the discussion, that people go to their their providers and their caretakers and say, I need help, and that they're able to get the help that they need. So yeah, I would agree with you on that. Just normalizing it as much as possible, and then helping people reach out and get the help that they need. And maybe you're not ready for a doctor and medication. Maybe you're ready for going to a therapist, and that therapist can help you discover what might help your body and help you to get through it. So yeah. All right, we're rocking along. We might have to tell a few family stories at the end just to fill it in. Okay, for you.
Well, I can do some of that too,
Well, this next question might be a little bit of a longer one. What was it like to watch us struggle individually and as a family with our mental health, as the grandma, as the mother-in-law, as the mom? What were your feelings as you watched us go through different things?
Well, on a personal level, it was devastating and heartbreaking for me
Mm-hmm.
because I was dealing with the same things too. And I mean, it's really hard to see the people you love just broken
Mm-hmm.
and full of angst and well, it was very, for a mother and a grandmother, it was really hard for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure I wasn't experiencing an iota of what my loved ones were going through, and Nikki and John and Kat and Jack. It was tough.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can't imagine. Like I can imagine what it must have felt like, and to lose Jack that way too. I know was really tough for you, particularly because you live on your own. You don't really have some of the things that we had to be able to keep some of that out. You know what I mean? Like working and being together as a family. So yeah, I can imagine it's been a journey for you too. Is there anything you've learned from it? Is there anything that along the way you experienced that you learned maybe how to be a better support for us or how to help yourself?
Well, I've learned a lot. I mean, I still have a lot to learn. But two things in particular is to be compassionate and loving.
Mm.
But the hardest thing, and I struggle with in all phases of my life, is just to be quiet and listen.
Mhm.
And I think I've done a lot of helpful things just by shutting up.
Yeah. You're you're
Because
really
I do learn by silence too.
mhm. You're really great about that with Kat. I feel like you just give her the chance to listen. You just give her the chance to talk while you listen, and I think that means a lot to her. Because I admit that as a busy mom, I'm not always great about leaning into the just listening to her. But I appreciate that about you, that you listen to her and you make her feel heard, and she feels very comfortable with you feel sharing all kinds of things. So.
It makes me feel good that she feels safe
Mhm.
to do that.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. All right. Major changes needed in the mental health care narrative. You want me to go first or you want to go first?
Why don't you go first?
Okay. I think like I guess one of the other reasons I really want to normalize um mental health is because I do want people to see you can still live a full life. I talked last time on the other podcast about a man I met after my first hospitalization who was so anxious he couldn't step outside his door to do anything, and it really made me sad for him. And so, for me, I guess I could have taken that road too of like I'm just going to stay at home. I'm not going to do anything, and there's nothing wrong with that. But if you want more for yourself, you don't have to have that diagnosis stop you. Like I was bipolar the whole time that I taught after we were married. I was bipolar before that, even though I didn't have the diagnosis. And I was bipolar for when I had my children. And I've raised them. Kat's almost an adult now. She's 17. So I think that feeling that you're going to be constrained by the diagnosis and you have a reason to be embarrassed about it. I think we gotta blow all of that out of the water. And the way that I talked about feeling broken when I came out, my second hospitalization, I fought against that. I was like, I am not broken. I had a little affirmation that I said to myself regularly because it's way too easy to listen to the lies about yourself when you do feel broken in that place. And so I just want people to understand that diagnosis does not define you and it doesn't need to stop you. You can still live a very full life with it. And I feel I have. Have I had to make adjustments along the way? Yep. Have medication changes had to happen? Yep. Do I still go see a therapist? Yep. But all of that is good stuff. It helps me be who I want to be.
And that's great. And I would add to that is that raising the awareness and get establish people involved in it and organizations to back up the movement to raise awareness. And it just needs to be including everybody and a lot of support.
So that brings me to my Andy Rooney. This book, I'm gonna do the eyebrows. Pretend I'm Andy Rooney right now, okay?
Hey, what?
Andy Rooney, our wrap up. I'm doing the eyebrows. See?
Okay.
Hey, look, you can see my butterflies too when I do that.
Oh, yes. Yeah,
Maybe
your
next time I'll
butterflies.
talk about why butterflies are so important to us. All right, I'm getting distracted. Andy Rooney would never get distracted like that. All right. So my wisdom for the week or weeks ahead is I wore the space buns today for a reason. We call these, my daughter participated in show choir one year where they did a circus theme and their hair had to be up in space buns. So I always think of space buns, I think of like a whole team or unit or the unseen world or whatever you want to call it. The universe. Sometimes I call it the universe. All of us working together is so important. And so what I see sometimes happen, and maybe I don't think it's just a United States of America thing. I think it's a human kind of tendency when there are problems. We tend to just look to other people to solve those problems. Whatever the problem might be, and I'm gonna be the first one to say I may not have experienced your problem, but you have. And so instead of waiting for this or that system to come in and help you, or the government to save you, or whatever you want to say, I think that it needs to come down to a very individual level of I can control my own narrative. And I'm going to start doing that. This is me saying this to you. So the shirt that I'm wearing today is we are the ones we've been waiting for. So versus the idea of I'm waiting for someone else to solve my problems, get out there and start to solve your own. I'm a big proponent of that. I'm a big believer in that because government works and moves too slowly. So you see a neighbor in need, what can you do? You're having problems yourself, what can you do? As human beings, we have a lot of capacity to solve problems and to make the world a better place. I'm a firm believer in that. And I can say that because I've been through some really tough stuff, but I didn't let it stop me. And I didn't let it, keep me from trying. I do this podcast. Are people going to listen? I don't know. But at least I tried. And at least I shared some words worth saying. So we are the ones we've been waiting for. This is a Ray Gun shirt, by the way. They're an awesome store, and I really like this one in particular. All right, Linda, I'll let you finish.
Well, I can't imagine that anybody would think that I'm as sexy as Andy Rooney. And I hope they aren't, the ambulance doesn't mean that they're coming after me, but I'm sorry for the interruption with
The
that.
police are coming for you.
And the question is, starts out that I need to share some wisdom, some of my wisdom with you. And I'm very shocked with that because I have so much wisdom that I want to share, and I have shared, and nobody has ever paid attention to all the wisdom that I'm willing to give out. But I'm glad to be asked again, and somebody might be listening this time. But
Never know.
and this is full of cliches, and I apologize for it, but I'm learning at the age of 80 that what's really important is to live today. Don't regret yesterday or want to change yesterday, and don't fret at all about tomorrow, because tomorrow will hit whether we want it to or not. But not only to live for today, but live for the next hour, in the next hour, and in this moment. And it changes your attitude it has changed my attitude about how I look at life. And it has helped me. And I've noticed that the elderly people that I know have the same attitude. And the ones that are unhappy are either regretful or fretful. And they're unhappy. And a lot of times they're the loneliest. And for everybody, we fight loneliness. And to have a circle of friends is very important.
Yeah, I love that. Well, thanks for joining us today, Linda. Thank you for being here with us today. And it was really, really a pleasure to be able to interview you and have you interview me.
My pleasure.
Bye.
Bye.